Hello, I'm Heather Bryan with Muskogee County Conservation District, and this is Jennifer Bailey with Okmulgee County Conservation District. We are a state agency versus, FSA was talking, and they're a federal agency, and then you'll hear from NRCS in a little bit, and they're also a federal agency. So there's a little bit difference between their agencies and our agency is that we can only get state monies and they get federal monies. We are from Oklahoma, and I know there's some of you guys from Oklahoma here, and I know there's a lot of you guys from other states. So one of the programs that we have is called State Cost Share, and each year we're mandated by a 5-board boss. I mean, our bosses are a board containing of board of directors containing of 5 members, and so they choose when we get the state cost share paperwork what practices that you're going to do. So each district or each county in Oklahoma will actually have different practices that they're going to offer to their county. So like my county this year, we offered new ponds, brush management, herbaceous weed control, and cross fencing. And then there's a allotted amount for each county, and then we divide that up through as much as people as we can actually help. And not everybody's going to get help, but we're going to help as many as we can. We go out and we check your properties, and they will rank them to see what your need is according to the practices that they've elected to do, and then that you chose that you wanted to do. And then when we get back, we rank them all up, and then they go in order, and that's how funding happens in our agency. And then I looked up, because I know there was going to be other states. So if you're from Arkansas, Arkansas has conservation districts to assist in different ways. They do not have a cost share program with their districts. They offer producers and rangers they refer producers and rangers to NRCS, and Amanda Mathis is the Arkansas NRCS state conservationist there. If you're from Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania has a similar state cost share. They call it ACAP. It's Agriculture Conservation Assistance Program. And ACAP provides financial and technical assistance for the implementation of best management practices on agriculture operations within the Commonwealth. In 2023, the districts began working with producers on plans for future practices installations. And if you're from Texas, Texas has a few different programs where they share the cost for those programs. The projects are limited to certain counties within the state of Texas. For more information, you can contact the Texas State Soil and Water Conservation Board, and I have the number for that. And then if you're from Indiana, I found Sullivan's County Soil and Water Conservation has many different programs and grants that they help with their producers within Indiana.
Is there anybody here from Oklahoma?
Yeah, there's a few of us around.
Anybody from Muskogee or Okmulgee County?
That's in here.
What county are you from?
Okmulgee.
Okmulgee? When is your state cost share roll out?
So our state cost share has, like every county, like she explained, is different in what practices that they offer. We literally offer every practice that is listed in the cost share program guide: brush management, spraying, herbaceous weed control, ponds, cross fencing, prescribed burning, you name it. So you can apply for it. It depends on how you rank out on if you get funding. Kind of like she had stated, not everybody will get funding, because some years through the state we might get 30 grand per county. Some years we maybe get 50 grand, and we try to split that up and give, depending on the practice. You know, if you're doing a new pond, you might get 5,000, but the max on ours is district-wide. All districts is $7,500. That's across the board. Now, whether that district decides to do the max is a different story. That all depends on that local board of directors, and then how many people they approve. You know, they might only approve. You might have 25 apply and 10 get funded. Like I said, each county is different when it comes to ranking. Some counties look at water quality is top priority in that county. Some look at it brush management. Like I said, Oklahoma, every county is different on how they rank. their applications. Ours, I can just tell you, ours is water. Water's a main top ranking. Brush management, like cedar removals, blackberry spraying, things like that. That's top priority for Milwaukee County. Like I said, we're kind of state, we're a little different than the federal side of it, but you know, we try to help who we can, you know, when they apply. Like I said, ours rolls out. How I do it in my district, I take applications all through the year. So if you come in my office and you want to apply for state cost share, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what you want to do on your property. What kind of improvements do you want to do? Do you have problems with erosion? Do you need terraces put in? Do you need cross fencing put in and you're rotating your cattle or goats or whatever? You know, you want a cross fence and you need water on that particular 40 that you're moving them to. So I'm going to talk to you, ask you questions, because we have that blanket of people that come in and just say, I want to apply for funding. And I'm like, well, what do you want? Why? You know, what do you want to do on your property? And, you know, that's sometimes kind of the mindset. I want to apply for a practice, but I'm like, what, you know. So in that aspect, the ranking sheets, like I say, every county's different. Mine's different from her ranking sheet, but NRCS is our technical guideline. That's who we use to go out, look at the people's property. They will, you know, you tell them what your concerns are, and then they will help you along the way with what is best, you know, or what do you need, you know, maybe put the pond over here, or whatever the situation. So they do all of our ranking for us, they turn those back in, and then, like I said, the board of directors, we go through the top highest rank one, and we give them, you know, $5,000 or $6,000 or whatever, you know, it kind of depends on what they're doing, you know. So NRCS is our partner as well, just like her county, same thing. We are partners with them. Sometimes our state cost share, you know, we have a lower amount of funding that we can give somebody, but NRCS, federal-wise, they have different programs that they can offer and help you with as well. So we might be good to help you with the pond, but then they will maybe come in and help you with these other two practices that you're wanting to do on the property. So
would you help us know to go to them and say, can you help? Because
Yes.
I'm getting help from you.
yes, so when you apply, like after all the whole year, I turn in my applications, we approve them at a board meeting, and then after all they're approved, I will scan them all in and send them to our NRCS person that will do the ranking. So from then on, then they will in turn call you and say, hey, I have your application here that you turned in for a Milwaukee County state cost share. You applied for a pond or water well or whatever. You know, I need to set up, they'll just tell you, we need to set up a time to come look at the property, discuss with you what you want, and then they will rank them, and then it kind of goes from there. Then they will all be turned into the local board, and then everything, and it's sometimes a little slower because the board only meets once a month. So a lot of times, I just had a phone call before I left, he called, said, I'm just checking on that, but you know, a lot of times when they apply, it might be 4 months ago. You know, we don't even get funding a lot of times until February. So once they apply, it might have been back in October. You know, but I always try to tell them, oh, we don't look to hear from me until maybe March, you know, or April, or somebody to contact you from NRCS until a little bit time has passed. Because like I say, everything is in 30-day increments by board
Yes.
approval, you know, for it. So, but we have, like I said, I don't know, like I said, if anybody's here that is in Milwaukee County, just a couple of people probably. We have these, and like I said, I don't know if every state has these, but these are, they're called resource concern surveys. So if anybody comes in my office, I try to have them fill this out. And it literally tells us, if you are in Milwaukee County, what is your concern for your property? Is it water? Do you have cattle? Do you run goats? Are you poultry? Whatever, swine, whatever the situation. And it literally asks you, to kind of fill out what are your concerns, because we base our ranking sheet every year off of the resource concerns of my county, Milwaukee County. Hers is the same way. will base, this is what we have, our people from Muskogee County or Okmulgee County has put down, and that's kind of how we go into ranking practices for state cost share. We meet with our main office every quarter, and we express our concerns with the main people of the state office to tell them, this is what we are getting from our people and the producers and what they're having concerns with. Maybe these are practices that we should add in state cost share, kind of like the drought. I don't know if anybody, like I said, applied the drought program that rolled out, what was it, 2 or 3 years ago? That was insanity. That came through our office. Pond cleanouts, wells, all that stuff was filtered through our offices, the conservation district offices.
That's something, okay.
Yeah, it was something, all right.
How do you even know what they offer?
So the last drought, was what? October? I can't remember. It was this is recent.
Yeah, so I think they started in October, we did start taking applications to November.
Yeah, so this one it's still going on, but it was a drought, same type of situation, drought program, because leading into the fall and the summer, we were in a drought. So once the main office, whatever they're looking at, it triggered. I don't know if you triggered, Okmulgee County did trigger, but as soon as we triggered into that drought, then yes, Jennifer, you're gonna take applications. I started taking applications, and we got like 6 inches of rain, and it has rained nonstop, I feel like, since.
I believe that one too. It
So,
has.
there was, and this time there was a stipulation, is if you had your pond cleaned out from August or whatever it was until a certain time, you could be paid for that. You bring in your invoice, I have to, of course, go check to make sure it looked like your pond was truly cleaned out. Yes, it was cleaned out, I've got to sign off, that says yes, that is true. And then they could pay you up to $7,500 for pond cleanouts. Some of the other practices that were included in that was water wells, pasture taps, heavy use protection area.
Water facilities,
Yeah, water tank system, like if you needed a freeze-proof trough, whatever. That was
Pipeline.
practiced as well. Pipelines to run from pasture tap pipeline to your trough or whatever. So all of those practice were in that particular drought program this year. We have stopped taking applications for it, so it's over.
So far this year. Hopefully we don't trigger again by the end of the summer, but, well, so the money that we're actually spending from the emergency drought, was given to the counties by, Governor Stitt.
Perfect bag.
They rolled it out, and then we're still using the money that was rolled out. And so that's how we've had emergency drought 1 and 2, and now we're on 3. I mean, if all the money gets used up this time, we don't know if there's gonna be money again. So it's not a guarantee that we'll get money every year.
So I've had people apply, and I've went to a couple of them, but there's still a whole list of people that is waiting for me to go look, and I just have told them, I'm not coming. I know you have water in your pond, there ain't no reason for me to go. But people that we can't, the people that have applied for water wells, pasture taps, all of those people, they have until July 1st or July 31st to have
At 4 o'clock, hard deadline. If it's not done, you don't get paid.
So that's what we do in our office. Like I said, my office is not located with the local NRCS office. We're in 2 different offices. Every county's different. She's located with hers.
I'm located in the USDA office, and I house with NRCS.
Our FSA, like the gentleman was talking about earlier, the loan side of it, for Okmulgee County is located in Okemah. It's in Ofuskie County. So that's where the FSA, the loan side and stuff, they're not in my office. We're not combined.
And I'm just across the road in Muskogee County, and my office is in Tahlequah.
Yeah,
So
it's a little strange.
Would you say y'all's conservation district has influence on the focused areas for applications? Did I hear that right?
well, we have a locally led survey, and each county has their own. And we asked our producers to fill them out, or anybody that's in Muskogee County, fill them out to see what their concerns on their property is, and then we turn that into Oklahoma City, which is our headquarters type thing, and they look at the concerns we have, so that when we do the cost share the next year, hopefully they'll put those concerns on the state cost share, where you can do the practices.
Kind of like pond cleanouts. So the pond cleanout, and I have said it since I've been there 11 years now, but I feel like pond cleanouts should be a regular practice
Yes.
that a state cost share producer could apply for, because not everybody needs a new pond. They might have a pond, it just silted in. So I'm just like, I have said that from the beginning, and every time I'm given the opportunity, like I said, I'm a little ant down here in the big whatever, but I have said and voiced my concern every single time, because I feel like pond cleanout should be a regular state cost share
I agree
practice
with that.
that you could apply for. I don't think it should be triggered in a drought, because I feel like at that point, it's too late.
By the time
need
they
it.
give us our drought money, we've already got rain, and most of our producers have water back in their ponds, and they don't ever release the money when they're actually dry. It seems like, oh, we have a problem, let's see what we can do. By the time they figure out the solution to it,
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's
So-
kind of like this time. This time was the same situation.
Yes.
You know, we got the money, they're like, you start taking applications, I did, and it was insanity, and then it was like, everybody just stopped.
Because we got so much rain.
rain, and we still have a lot of water. I don't know. Does anybody have any questions?
What was the Sullivan something out of Indiana?
it's called Sullivan County Soil and Water Conservation.
So is it only gonna apply to Sullivan County?
I don't know that answer. What I did was, because I knew that you guys were coming from everywhere,
Yeah.
and I wanted to be able to say, hey, these states, offer this, and so I tried to look them up, and that's the only states that I could really find in the short time I had to look it up. That's just the ones that I found that has similar practices or programs like ours in
Like
Oklahoma.
the cost share?
Right.
So
So-
we could just go to the state website and put in cost share and see what
I
happens?
would put, or I would just
The
do,
Sullivan County Soil and Water Conservation, that's what I would probably Google or whatever.
or I would just Google, what I did was I went to the state, I just put soil and water conservation of, and then the state name is how I found it.
Okay.
And they might have programs, and I mean, I know Mississippi, they don't do the state cost share. It's bizarre when you talk to the soil and water boards for other states, because, what we do here, they do, like Mississippi, they did not. I was like, you don't do state cost share? He's like, we don't get funding like that.
Yeah.
I had a
So
couple
it's
states that
all
did that.
every state is different, but they have soil and water boards in their districts, but, how they do funding and programs is
Okay.
Well, like
different.
Pennsylvania, when I called them, they just started doing a cost share program in 2023. So they had never done anything like that, and they just started it, and they call it ACAP, which stood for, Agriculture Conservation Assistance Program, is what Pennsylvania's is called, and they just started theirs in 23. So, different states have different, like I said, different things, but, you said you're from Okmulgee though, right? Is anybody here from Muskogee County by chance?
They should all have NRCS offices
Yeah.
in those states.
Well, that was my next thing, is that all states have, and correct me if I'm incorrect, or wrong, that all states have an NRCS office, correct?
All counties are covered by NRCS office. There may not be one located in the actual county, but they're going to be an office that covers every county across the country.
NRCI,
NRCS.
S.
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions? Thanks for.
Well, we appreciate you guys' time.